Hello, friends. This is Tony DeSant, space rocker of the planet Earth, back with another one of these videos. Today is a Friday. TGIF, thank God it's Friday. And a lot of people are like really happy because they've been working all week and they get to be free for a couple of days. Not the case here, but. And going on with the series that I have for this month right now. This month of January. How to live a more carefree life. How to live a more carefree life. Eventually becoming financially free. Being an entrepreneur. Working for yourself. And actually working less and less. Because you created something beautiful. And this is what I'm going to talk about today. How to create something beautiful. The message for today is going to be create your own machine. And you could write this down. This is a good tip right here. This is a good principle. Create your own machine. What do you mean by that, Tony? Create your own machine. Okay, see, when you start up thinking of ideas, and if you're like me, full-blown entrepreneur, since I was little, I have no other way to live. I'm coming up with ideas every single day. Ideas are good. But you have to settle those ideas into one or two main ideas during the day. But then again, you could start something. You might have an idea about a business. And you start that business. And you keep going. Well, that business and that idea create more ideas. And you can start branching out your idea. Like, this is your main business, but this main business can start creating little businesses on the side. Like, say your main business is the root of the tree, right? The tree start growing and create branches, and the leaves start coming out and all that good stuff. And it keeps growing and it keeps branching out. That's mainly it. Like, I always relate it to music. And I've got the sniffles. Sorry about that. That's part of the process. It's January. But anyways, create your own machine. And I'm going to give you a few examples, maybe. Let's see. Let's say your business is with cars. For example, this is just an example. Okay, let's say you know a lot about cars and you like cars, but you're not a mechanic. Okay, but you know about the theory of how a car works, and you can learn and you can read, you can learn about all these days The car is very computerized, so you have to learn a lot of electronics and all kind of stuff. Not simple, but it's doable. Now, if you know about cars, you know about cars from the beginning to the end. You have to start with way back in the day when they started those cars in the beginning, 1800s or whatever, coming along. Then Henry Ford came along and made the Model T, and you have to know the history. If you want to get into something, you have to learn it. You have to create your own machine. So once you start learning and you start doing and you start digging on everything, you settle on one thing. Like usually what people do in the beginning is let me start selling cars. Okay. So what do you have to do to sell cars? Okay. Well, you have to know a little bit about cars, first of all, and you have to know about the business of selling cars and what it all entitles. What it all entitles. There's a lot of things that you can do when you're selling cars. You can sell cars, but what do the authorities require you to have? And I can tell you a little bit about this because I've done it myself. They require you to have a location. They require you to have insurance. They require you to have a business line. Landline. Yeah, landline. Not cell phone, landline. You can have all the cell phones you want, but you have to have that landline because they require you to have a physical location for you to sell the cars. Usually. These days, people do all kind of things. They sell car on the streets and all kind of illegal stuff. But if you want to do it the right way, like the city, the county, the state requires, you have to find all those laws and you have to get yourself set up. It costs a lot of money, but you get yourself set up. And before you sell the first car, you just forked out $50,000. And you don't even have one car to sell. But you got to get all your permits and everything. And let's say you have a few cars to sell. You have a little inventory. Maybe you can start with 5, 6 cars, 7 cars maybe. And you start with that. Now, you have to keep moving those cars. By say, moving those cars is like you have to sell those cars. Hopefully you'll sell those 7 cars in a month. But sometimes it doesn't happen that way. It stalls a little bit. You sell your first car and you get a little profit and you keep going. Then maybe once you sell one car, with that one car that you sell, you can buy another 2 cars, and that car gave you the opportunity to buy another 2 cars. Now you have, instead of having 7 cars, you have 8 cars now, because you sold one and then you got 2, and so 6 plus 2 is 8, and you keep going like that. And little by little, you build your business, you build your inventory. Month by month, you build your inventory. And in the beginning, you got all the hats. You answering the phone. You're doing all the paperwork. You're dealing with the state. You're dealing with the city. They're coming around, snooping around and see if you got all the permits and everything. But you're creating your own machine. You're creating your own thing. And that's what I'm talking about. You start getting creative. Soon enough, you're going to need a mechanic. Because you're going to buy some cars that are not up to par. And the mechanic has to come in and look at it and get it running. Get it running the right way. Even if it's running, but it's not running the right way. And with experience, you can just hear the car and know that the car is not running the right way. So soon enough, you're going to need a mechanic. Soon enough, you're going to need some people to fix the little dents and dents, or whatever, make it look good. But that comes later. In the beginning, you have to create your own machine. Whatever machine that you decide to create, but you have to start. You can't just think about it. So the lesson for today is create your own machine. Make sure that whatever you're doing makes money, first of all. Have the possibility of making you lots of money. Even though if you have to start little. But by creating your own machine, you can grow your machine to bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and have no stops. And with this one, I want to say hi to everybody. I want to say hi to all the people around the world that follow my music and follow my videos. I know who you are, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is Tony DeSant, space rocker of the planet Earth, still living in this beautiful planet called Earth, today with the message of create your own machine if you ever want to be free, financially free. I'll see you on my next video.